In this video, we're going to cover completing the square, but more formally than last class. So let's get started. So here's the success criteria. And we want to make sure we're able to answer this at the end of the video. And if we are able to answer, that means we've understood pretty much all the concepts that are introduced in this video. So before we get into completing the square, we need to know how to create a perfect trinomial. And for review, let's look at what a perfect trinomial is. So when you have a trinomial, such as this, and you're able to put it into a form that looks like this, factor it into a form that looks like that, then this trinomial is known as perfect trinomial. So an example of a trinomial that's not perfect would be this, which is, so then the factored form would be x plus 6, x plus 4. As you can see, this form is not this, so therefore it's not a perfect trinomial. So let's practice finding c values to make certain trinomials a perfect trinomial. So in this exercise, we have x squared plus 8x. On c value that would work would be 16, because we know this factor would be x plus 4 squared. If you want to do this on your own, you can practice by pausing the video, complete it, and then check your answers with me after. So then for this one, 9 would probably work. X minus 3 squared. And for this one, 81 would work. X plus 9 squared. So if you realize from these three, there's a pattern. If you take the b value, 8, divided by 2 and square it, you get the c value. Negative 6 divided by 2 and square it, you get 9. 18 divided by 2, square it, you get 81. So using that, we should be able to get a c value for even this question. In this question, it's a little bit difficult because the negative 5 doesn't divide evenly by 2. It's not an even number. So again, according to the hypothesized formula, c should be negative 5 over 2 squared, which is equal to 25 over 4. So this is plus 25 over 4. This is the factor form should be x minus 5 over 2 squared. We can double check that this is in fact equal to this by FOILing this out. It should be x squared minus 5 over 2x twice, and then plus 25 over 4, which is x squared minus 5x plus 25 over 4. If the trinomial is x squared plus bx plus c, then c should be equal to, we've already established what that is. You take b, divide by 2, and square it. Okay. So continuing on, now that we know how to find the c term to get a perfect trinomial, we need to apply that to complete the square. So here we have a regular trinomial, and in the first step what we're going to do is ignore the 7. Ignore this 7 and try to create a perfect trinomial using the first two terms here, x squared plus 20x. So a c value that would work, we can use the formula that we've developed to b over 2 squared, which is 20 over 2 squared, which is 10 squared, 100. So then what we want to do is add and subtract the c that we just found, 100 minus 100 in step 2. The reason why we want to add and subtract the c value is because when you add and subtract that value, you're technically adding 0 to the equation. So this, in fact, is still the same equation as our original, plus 7. So that's why we're adding and subtracting. But we're able to change the equation, even though it's the same equation, by factoring the first three terms, which is x plus 10 squared. And then we write the rest of the equation 10, which is minus 100 plus 7. We simplify further by adding the negative 100 and 7 together, which is negative 93. And then finally, we're just going to expand this to double check that this form is in fact the same as our original trinomial that we had. So foiling the first factored set, x squared plus 20x plus 100 minus 93, which equals x squared plus 20x plus 7. And this is the original equation that we had. So this must be right. So the great thing about this form that we've just created or rearranged to create is that we get the vertex of our parabola. So the vertex is negative 10, negative 93. Okay, let's do another question. In this question, things aren't going to be as simple as the last one because the c value will be different. So what c value would give you a perfect trinomial if you use the first two here, x squared minus 17x? We use the same formula. Take b divided by 2 and we square it. So b in this case would be negative 17. Divide that by 2, square it. This would be, let's take a look, 289 over 4. Okay, so we got our c value, and we need to add and subtract it so that we don't change the equation at all. Okay, this still makes it the same equation as the given or expression. And then we want to factor the first three terms. Okay, x minus the b over 2, which is 17 over 2, squared, minus 289 over 4 plus 5. And then we can simplify further. So this is going to be x minus 17 over 2 squared. We can make this, have this a common denominator, minus 289 over 4 plus 20 over 4 minus 279 over 4. We can expand to check our answer. Let's expand. This is x squared minus 17x plus 289 over 4 minus 279 over 4, which is equal to x squared minus 17x plus, I believe that's 10 over 4, isn't it? 20 over 4. And this is equal to x squared minus 17x plus 5. There's a mistake here. Oh, that's a mistake. So here I made a mistake. It's negative 289 plus 20 over 4, which should be negative 269, right? I'm pretty sure most of you found that error when I was going through that section. So here, this should be 269. And this should be, yes, 20 over 4. That makes more sense. And now, yes. And once we expand it, we get the same equation that expression that we had at the beginning. Right. Perfect. And then again, with this vertex form, we're able to state the vertex negative 17 over 2. 17 over 2 minus 269 over 4. That's the vertex. Okay. So this is what I wanted to go over for this video. Now again, to summarize, to get the c value, so let's say our expression is x squared plus bx plus some k. Then the c value that we want is going to be equal to b over 2 squared. So then our new equation, our new expression would be x squared plus bx plus b over 2 squared, which is our c, minus b over 2 squared plus k. Okay, and then we factor the first three. We get x, it depends, plus or minus plus b over 2 squared, and then minus b over 2 squared plus k, and then we simplified this, and then that's how we get our vertex form. Okay, so that's it for the video. Please make sure to practice completing the square a bit more. Look at the worksheets on Google Classroom. If you have any other questions, please post your questions or email me. Thanks.